Spirituality has come to mean many things to many different people. I think its simplest definition is a way of living in the world and a being toward God. So, spirituality is the living embodiment of prayer. As the Directory for Worship says, prayer is a posture of living faith, it's a way of living in the world. Of course, there are many different approaches to living in the world. So, what I would argue is that your spirituality is the expression of your theology. What you believe affects how you live. For example, if you're a Jesuit, you're going to have a spirituality that's very concrete. It's rooted in this world, it's very experiential. It sees and has a deep awareness of the concreteness of the world that the person occupies. Whereas if you are a Dominican theologian, your spirituality is probably going to be a bit more rationalistic. It's going to be almost scientific in its approach to life. It's going to live life within a framework of Aristotelianism. So it's going to see all things in terms of causality and kind of a metaphysic of finalism, because that fits very clearly within the Thomistic theology. Um, what I would argue is that Presbyterians have a distinctly reformed spirituality. The Book of Order lists five concrete themes of the Reformed tradition, and I believe these are very much expressions of our Reformed spirituality. The most important of these is the overpowering sovereignty of God. God's providence in the world is absolute. So, as Reformed Christians, we believe that God sustains and lives in and through the whole of the universe and is directing the universe toward God's divinely appointed end. We also believe in the election of people for salvation as well as for service. So we have a very personal understanding within our Reformed spirituality that God has called each of us to a particular task. It is our vocation, it is our divinely appointed duty to live in the world as God has called us to live. And this is from God. We also tend to believe that all things should be done decently and in order. So Presbyterians tend to believe that order and good governance are very important. That's an expression of our Reformed spirituality and our Reformed theology. We tend toward uh, a desire for simplicity and efficiency. We tend to shun opulence and excessiveness, though this isn't absolute, but that tends to be an expression of a reformed spirituality. And last but not least, and probably my most favorite, is that reformed Christians tend to have a very strong suspicion of the danger of idolatry in the world. We believe, as John Calvin said, that the human mind is a perpetual factory of idols. So we're deeply attuned to the danger and the possibility of idols or false gods popping up anywhere and everywhere in the social sphere. And we believe it's a divine calling that we Presbyterians go out into the world to unmask and destroy these idols. For example, the idols of racism or sexism or totalitarianism, we're always working to unmask these as false gods and then dismantle them so that the social sphere can thrive and the glory of God can be shown forth. This is what it means to be a Reformed Christian and to live a Reformed spirituality.